So I just want to do final thoughts, real quick from everyone. We're gonna start off with Corey and just go down the lane. Um, what are your final thoughts on just everything that's going on in the George Floyd case?
Well, like I was talking to my mom the other day about everything. Well, for one, I told her this was just bound to happen, unfortunately. When you don't have situations like this actually being taken seriously, and it happens year after year, it's like every year, every other month, something's going on. At some point, we're going to get tired. And when people get tired, what are they left to do? So to me, I told her I don't even think that whether they convict him or whatever the whole situation is going to be, I still think that this was the last straw. And I feel like people are just tired at this point. I don't think this is something that's going to be, okay, once this dies down, things will kind of smooth over. No, I think people are genuinely just fed up at this point. They have no faith in the system. They don't have no faith in police. They don't have any faith in coworkers. They don't have any faith in anything. They're just going to rely on what's gotten them to this point. And in order for us to kind of fix the situation in our way, we have to be able to come together in a way that hasn't been seen before. And that's not even just with us. That's celebrities, that's athletes, that's people who invest in companies that are owned by white people. And at the same point, you have to invest in our own people also. Because the best way to build whatever it is that we're trying to build and to have something for ourselves, we have to invest in each other. And the thing is, if you're not willing to come together to organize, if you're not willing to come together to really check and see, okay, what is it that we need to do to get to a better place, that we're not really so reliant on them, that if they say, okay, well, I don't think you're worth this amount of money, even with a degree, even with your background, cool, no problem. I got somebody else who can do it. We're almost so unfortunately, it seems like we're so reliant because when we apply to jobs, we don't know who's doing an interview. Majority of the time, it's a white person. Majority of the time, they're the one dictating what it is that we're worth, and that's to me, that's just unacceptable. We know what we're worth. Whether you have a degree, whether you're self-taught, whether you have both, whether you travel the world and you have it, they're going to look at you and say, "I don't feel like you're worth this because of how you look." However, I'm going to choose Bob and Jim, who's right outside doing an interview, and I'm going to pay them way more than what they're probably worth. So my thing is that I don't think this is going to die down. I hope it doesn't. I hope this is something that actually triggers people to actually stand up together and say, okay, you know what? If we gotta invest in this supermarket down the street so we can go get our own, instead of continue to fund them and, and start taking away from them, because obviously brutality and all that stuff, they're still going to tee up on us regardless, sadly, because it just keeps happening. So for us, we have to get to a point where we can take care of ourselves. We have to get to a point where we can tactfully and strategically win down the road from a long term point of view.
Of course, Gene.
Oh goodness. Well, we covered so much, and there's so much more to cover on the topic. In regards to George Floyd, um, absolutely horribly tragic, but not unheard of, not something that's new or something that is so shocking because it's something that happens all the time. It just happens to have been caught on camera, like a lot of recent cases are. And as awful as it is, it's something that we have to be like, how many more lives are we willing to lose before we push and push back? And we're seeing a huge pushback right now that I hope continues. I hope that the fire keeps burning. And if I can contribute in any little way, that's what I want to try and do. So
I think it was Corey. I think you said something that I think I'm leaning more in that direction. People are tired of being tired, but I think I'm going back where even after the respect takes place, are we educating? Are we teaching our younger kids, both white and black, what this is? Because that's where I think it goes. There isn't too much that we can, in my opinion, do about that situation now because cops are where they are. But the new future cops of the world, the ones that would have seen this and known what not to do, Maybe you're having conversations with that extra kid that said, I want to be a police officer when I grow up. You find out what type of have that conversation with a kid or two. In terms of, I look at children really in general, like, it's like really the medicine for it all. Because, it's what you can feed them that they're going to end up feeding our community and cultures later. We're the old heads talking about this. Did we do a good enough job of teaching all the kids and finding ways to reach all those kids and showing them the game and showing them what it is, showing them entrepreneurship, teaching them about, different things and ways that you can get money at a young age. Kids are concerned about getting money young because they got to watch their mama cry about the bills. So they want to get this money. You can teach your son now how to get his t-shirts printed, do whatever. Because those are the things that, in my opinion, might help shape his mind into doing the thing later in life that, again, we hope will keep us out of harm's way, but obviously that's not the case now. But in addition to that, it's like moral teaching. What morals are we giving off to our kids, to our family members? There's no doubt that this long, almost seemingly never-ending fight against prejudice, racism, and white supremacy wrapped together, I would say, is going to be long, hard, lives will be lost, casualties on both fronts, psychological casualties, economic casualties, businesses will crumble in this fight, right? But you got to still fight, And in the end, who's left at the end of those things in war? The kids. The kids that had to go through it. The kids that had to live through it and hear what mom and dad were saying at home. Maybe our conversations aren't so look at whitey. Because then we end up having fear taught to our kids. Instead, I'm trying to come at it in a different direction where I can just straight talk about building and just continue. Continue to talk about building, continue to talk about the unification, but just making sure that you're very subtle in the approach of the real world with these kids and just let them know, look, it's not cool to be this way. The kids want to be cool, show them what it really is. You're going to have your occasional dealing with and those people grown up into that way of living. But on the fencers, the ones that grew up around Black people all the time, all that stuff, like, you can reach that community of individuals when you're talking to younger kids now. All that TikTok and all. It's about what we digest and what we share as adults. As entertainers, you ask that question as an entertainer. I take full responsibility of both financially and I guess emotionally, if you will, supporting my community, right? I plan to give back as much as I can. I'm not going to, I'm feeling master people, but in terms of that, because you're talking about education, you're talking about, really stretching forward process. Who talked about Michael Jordan and that prison shit? I didn't even know that. I don't fuck with Michael Jordan. I like LeBron just off strength of that school that he built in his home.
Yes.
And that's the efforts, man. Every player in the league could probably do something that looks or feels like that. Most of the stars actually not really inspired. And, you intensify those efforts. You intensify efforts amongst even just strong leaders in the community, right? How many head coaches we got these days coaching kids, getting them, to run the routes right, getting them to learn how to block. Those are the things that help these kids get straight. And not get straight like straighten out young men so you can get the job. Straighten out young men so you can learn respect. Straighten out young men so you can learn how to treat everybody. Women, white people, Black people. I look at children as the complete glue of really, it's the future. What the fuck are we going to do? We're old by then. We got to show them the way and then show them how to show their kids the way, right? So that, seriously, we're doing now these days. How many of us, we Black men, we got grandma and all that shit. They've been talking shit for years. And, it is what it is. My household, try to do things a little different. Even if my wife is Black, I think I just as a person, that's how I get on. Both my parents Black. That's how I grew up. We didn't slam nobody. Both my parents retired military. They were around so many people in their life. They saw so many things in their life. It became about respect. It became about human rights. You know what I'm saying? And you look at it through those eyes. The kids are the ones that deal with it the most, and the kids are the ones, in my opinion, that can fix it. So, I know I went for a minute. That's probably the last thing I'll say, but you know what I do with the kids and everything now, and those will be my efforts going forward. But seriously, man, like, if the conversation's gonna be had, save that post on Facebook or whatever for a conversation with your neighbors, the kids outside, or somebody. You know, those are the things, dog, that, in my opinion, from my experiences personally, and I just believe that even if people didn't try this before, I guarantee you attempted to just go outside and find a young that you can look in his eyes, he can look in your eyes, and you can talk to him. Just get that up. Start to develop that relationship. Mentors are very important. And when we get more of those, again, you're going to see that the meaning of respect grow. The meaning of respect for women has to grow. The meaning of respect for all communities really has to grow. Certainly, when you see that happen, I just think, again, that would be my guess, at least, on what could help. You know, all the political reform, all that shit. You got old people making these decisions. They know how they feel. Kids don't. Kids are still learning. Kids are still figuring out who they are. You can kind of help shape them into something that's at least decent if you give them at least another side of the perspective. So I went for a minute and I'm done. So.
Got you.
So, you know, I'm still young and growing, and like Brayden said, a lot of us are, you know, still trying to figure things out. So right now I'm at a point of being extremely frustrated and trying to find out ways where I can express my frustration and not portraying, you know, an angry Black woman or an angry Black person in general. So for me, it's all about, I want to see change. And, you know, I'm posting things on social media that I feel like people need to see or people need to hear because I'm frustrated, but I'm still growing and I'm still trying to find ways to express my frustration and people to talk to and help me express that frustration. So that's where I'm at.
That's good. That's good. And Katie?
So there's just so many factors. There needs to be change. That's clear. And you can't just like walk away from problems, because there's people that are really like dealing with this on a daily basis and being stripped away from their humanity, which is just not okay. Like, people are dying and people are tired and want change. So at this point, I think just being able to stay actively engaged, constantly educating yourself, and just being aware, but doing something.
I feel you. I feel you. So, guys, it's been a pleasure speaking to you for probably almost 2 hours now. But yeah, you know, we had a really good talk today, and I think this is the type of conversations that we need to have as a community. That's one of my biggest things, and one of the reasons why I've started Creator Source Studios, my production company, why I started Culture Colosseum, the channel that this video is going to be on, is because I want to see change in this. I want to disrupt what's currently being done in the media industry, especially the stereotype. But again, with everything that we've talked about today, I think we got into a lot of great topics, and I think that this is probably going to be one of the most prolific videos that I've ever produced in Creator Source Studio. So I think that that's going to be really well, and we're definitely going to have you guys back again. We will be doing a part 2 to this, and we will be going more into depth on more topics. But guys, if you got any value from this video, definitely share it on social media. Share it with everyone that you can, because this message and this conversation needs to happen. We have to stop having them behind closed doors, and we need to start having them in person in front of everyone else, and start being real about how we feel about this, and start getting change, start understanding one another, and stop being afraid to talk about this. So again, guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. We'll catch you guys in the next episode, in the next video on Culture Coliseum. And it's been great having you guys all here to discuss. Have a great day.